Welcome back to the Strata Automation Technical channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the graphic building tool, as well as the dashboard building tool in Ocean version 3. So to start, in the graphic builder here, on the left-hand side here, I've got my library with all of my images and pieces that I can use to build my graphics, and all the ones that were used to build the default graphics that we provide for our first-party devices. So if I hit open here in the top left, you'll see anything with Strato underscore is going to be one of those automatically built graphics that we provided for all of our stuff, all of our first party devices and firmwares. And then everything else is a custom graphic, whether it's a template that I've modified or a fully custom graphic here. So you can also see that anything with a trash can is something that was created and saved, whereas everything without a trash can is a default graphic. We do that so you can't accidentally get rid of the default graphics. So if I select something like the boiler here, you'll see this is a default graphic. Got some GIFs in there and some piping, as well as a bunch of display values that correspond to the boiler firmware. If I open something like the OpenStat RTU, you'll see this has every possible combination of sensor and equipment that the OpenStat, specifically the rooftop unit firmware, supports. If I want to upload custom things, that'll show up under this custom section here. If I hit upload image, I can upload any image from my computer. And you'll see all the file types for your PNG, GIF, and so on. So when I'm creating my graphic, let's say I've done a fully custom graphic here and I want to save it. If I hit save as, I can give it a new name and description. As long as I'm not naming it the same as something that's been previously named, I don't have to worry about overriding anything or losing any files. Or if I want to save it under the existing name, I just hit save here. One thing we do recommend is not saving over the default graphics just in case you need them. We recommend saving as a different name and just leaving the default graphics alone in case you want to use it as a template in the future or you actually want to use it for other devices. Additionally, once I'm done creating a graphic, I can hit export and I can save that locally to my machine here. So you'll see it downloads the file to my computer. And then if I were to import it here, import this graphic directly. So I can share graphics between servers or sites. If I've spent some time and created a custom graphic, it might be valuable to save that and use it again on a similar application. Then along the top here, we just have some organizational things for when you're actually building your graphic here. So we have lock and unlock features. That way things stay where they're supposed to, or you can move things around by unlocking them. We have send to back and bring to front. So this is how you can organize things and get ductwork and equipment to layer properly in your graphic. We've got align vertical center and align horizontal center, so you can get ductwork specifically to line up nicely in your fans and everything. That way you're not placing it manually by using your mouse. You can actually just line things up exactly. And then we also have copy and paste, which also work with your standard hotkeys of Control-C and Control-V. So now that we know how to use all of these features here and what we can do, let's open a graphic here. Actually, we'll start from scratch. So if I just hit refresh, it will open a blank canvas here. So if I go to custom, let's drag out a floor plan here. You'll see once I drag it out, the properties populate over on the right-hand side. So you'll see the X position, the Y position, and then the scale of this image. If I want to scale it up, I'll drag it to the right and increase that. If I want to shrink it, I'll drag it to the left and scale it down. I can also rotate the image. So if I enter, say, 90 degrees here, it'll rotate it by 90 degrees. And 0 is straight on. And also edit things for the whole canvas size down here. So if I want to raise or lower the canvas size by height and width, I can do that, or I can edit the scale as well. So you'll see this scales everything rather than individual items. So let's say with this floor plan, I want to add display values. So if I go under display here, I'll have a couple different options. Let's say I want to throw these medium display values on here. I have a display temperature here and a display temperature here. And then I'll have one master set point that I'll throw on here as well. All right, so now that I've got my display values here, I have to tell it where to grab that data from. So we'll start up on this one here. If I right click on it, I get a bunch of different options. So I get rename, read only, lock, and delete. So this top one here, bind to display object, that's where I can go in here and tell it where to look for data. So the way we do our default graphics is by these application aliases here. You can see all these here are what we use to make templates. So that way it can be applied to our controllers and not worry about address or instance information. Whereas if I was going to do that for my graphics here, I would have to choose absolute or relative. So absolute is going to take into account the device instance, whereas relative is going to take into account which device I'm looking at. So over here in systems, absolute wouldn't care what this value is here. It's going to look, it's going to be hard coded to whatever value I've set there. Whereas if I have this set to relative, it's going to say, okay, which device am I looking at in the tree? I'm going to use that instance, and I'm going to look at that point for that controller based on that instance, rather than a specific point, an instance that's been preset here. So for this one, I'll leave it on absolute. Let's say I want to look at my AVs for one of my devices, 213007. So let's say for this device here, this one will be my set point. So selected object 213007, AV1. Apply, you'll see room temperature set point shows up there. Then let's say this one here is one of my analog inputs on that same device. And we'll grab this value here. And then on this one, we'll grab it from a different controller. We will grab analog input. We'll say from that VAB there. So you'll see now I've got these values here. Hit save as, I give it a name, call it demo. I don't have to give it a description if I don't want to. And if I go over to systems here, if I refresh this, make sure it updates, scroll up to find demo, there it is. You'll see I've got all those values that I plugged in earlier. Now obviously these values, that would be quite the temperature, but because I have them set up to be writable, I can click on them and interact with them just like I can any other point. So moving on from the graphic builder, we'll move on to dashboards. So here in my dashboard builder, on the left-hand side, I have all of my available widgets. And I'll talk through some of these in a minute here. But then across the top, I've got my project and file management stuff here. So I've got open. If I click this, I can open a existing dashboard that I've created. If I hit new, it'll give me a new dashboard to work on rather than the existing one I was looking at. If I hit save as, that allows me to save the new dashboard template under a new name. I can also hit save here, and that'll save the existing file on this name rather than as a new file with a different name. Then I've got copy and paste. Again, Control C and Control V work with this system here. I've got import and export, so I can reuse dashboard templates between servers and sites. And I can export this one to my PC and save it, and then I can import it from my PC as well. And then search and replace. What this allows you to do is if I am using a previously created dashboard template, the search and replace allows me to change things in kind of a batch edit form. So I can search for the device instance and backnet object, and then I can replace it with a backnet object and device from a different controller. So that allows me to use dashboards between servers without having to go in and manually recreate it over and over again. I'll grab my weather widget here, and I'll drag it up here to the top where it says drop here, and you'll see it starts to pull local weather data based on my location that I've set. It's going out to the internet and just grabbing that value. If I grab a data table here, drag that up here, you'll see no records available, but in my right window over here, I've got properties and data tree. So I can change the name. So we'll call this zone temps. And I've got a data tree over here. Now I can choose any points from controllers on my network. So let's say I want to throw these temperature values on here from a couple different controllers. We'll say I want to do that one and this temperature value here. So you can see as I drag them over, they just start to populate in my table with the information. If I click on the corner here, I can resize it so I can get a better view of everything, or I can make it as big or small as I'd like. And then from the properties, I can manage that data so I can get rid of things. Let's say I accidentally grabbed the wrong point here from this device, and I don't want to actually show that one. And I just want to stick to zone 701. As far as other objects and other widgets, like hyperlinks on here and link to anything. So if I wanted to create a link for an end user over to the schedule section, take them directly to the schedule for the controller or the floor that I'm looking at. I could set that up here by the label and the URL for something like a chart. It says no data available, but if I select some of these same values, I can see the points for that device that I'm throwing these points on here. So this is a great way to save trends to look at later, so you don't always have to go to the trend section and select all your points and controllers you want to look at. I could grab a couple key points, throw them on a chart in a dashboard, and then when I'm in the dashboard, I can right click on it and jump to the trend for that, those points that I've selected. So once I have all of my information in here that I'd like, got all my links and all the data I want to show, if I hit save as here, I'll give it a new name. We'll call this demo, save, dashboard saved. And now if I go to one of my controllers here or one of my sites, and I hit that little drop down there, I can select demo and you'll see that dashboard populate with all that data here, just like I saw it in my dashboard builder. But that's going to be all for this video. If you'd like to see how some of the other features in Ocean work, check out our other videos. So thanks for watching and have a great day.